me, you can sit like this or stay in a chair. Any version of sitting is fine. Other arm overhead, and we're leaning over to the side. So what I want you to look for here, in osteopathy, we talk about finding the spring in the tissue. In movement practice, sometimes we're always going for that big stretch. Nerves don't love to be on a big stretch. So remind yourself that we're trying to communicate with the branches of the vagus nerve. This time the branches that go into the lung and in the intercostals, those muscles between the ribs. So play around a little bit and find how much of a lean allows me to put them on a gentle stretch, but not where they're at the end of their range, where they feel bouncy, where you've got spring in the tissue, and bounce a little bit there for a moment. And then every inhale, deepen that just a tiny little bit by reaching over a little bit more. Every exhale, come back up and bend the elbow to compress those very branches. And find your sweet spot. Avoid the urge to go into that deep stretch that we're so used to looking for, and instead find the spring in the tissue. How far can you go where it feels really good to be there? You can go faster or slower than me as your system is asking for in this moment, so tune in and try to figure out, what do I need right now? And the next time your arm is overhead, we're going to pause here. So take a moment to make sure you've still got spring in the tissue, that you're not at the end of your stretch. From here, you're going to turn your head to look down at your right knee. And then without changing anything else, with the eyes only, you're going to look out over your right shoulder. And pause there for a few breaths. Send the breath into that left rib cage, opening up the intercostals, opening up the lung. As soon as we invite this movement of the eyes, we're tapping into that reflex loop between the eye muscles and the sub-occipital muscles at the base of the skull. So that's going to talk right into that C0, C1, C2, which is just where that brainstem sits. Now, without changing anything else, with the eyes only, send the eyes over to your left. If you feel any strain in the eyes, back off a little bit. It's okay to go into a little bit of discomfort, but don't force it. You can test eyes open or closed and see which one feels better in your body. And then let the eyes come back to center, bring your head back to center, and come on back up. Let's take a moment to recalibrate in the center. After working like that, it can be nice to either have the hands on the face, either static or like a little slow stroke, or on the heart or on the throat. Kind of go intuitively with where you feel would be helpful for you. Tune into your breath and decide what breath supports your needs in this moment. What version of the breath helps bring you back to that place of comfort and connection? And know that it's not uncommon when we work the vagal system for it to trigger feelings of dizziness or nausea. So if that's happening to you, don't worry, it's not a negative thing. Come back to your center, ground into the earth, find the breath that supports you, and place your hands wherever is comforting until it passes, and then join us again. So allow your hands to fall away. Let's do that same thing on the other side. So left hand goes to right knee or right leg. Take a moment to just explore a little bit on this side of where is that spring in the tissue? Where is that bouncy place? We're not trying to stretch the muscles. We're looking to communicate with the vagus nerve, those branches that feed the lungs and the intercostals. So see if you can tap into that system. Be gentle with it. Be tender with yourself. And then when you're ready, inhale, reach the arm overhead to lengthen just a little bit. Exhale, come on up tall and compress those branches by bringing the elbow towards the waist. Oftentimes, nerves prefer to be compressed than stretched. So tune into that for yourself. What does your body prefer today? How does it want to dance with you? Does it want to go far into that reach, or does it want to only go to here? And go with what you need rather than what you think should happen. One more time. So choose where you land, that it's still a bouncy place, that you feel really, really comfortable here. And then next step, we're going to turn the head to look towards the left knee. Pause there. And then with the eyes only, You're going to look out over your left shoulder. Eyes can be open or closed, whatever feels better in your body. If it's straining in the eyes, just give yourself that permission to make it a little softer, a little more subtle. Be gentle with this system. It's a very deep system. It touches the deepest parts of us. So treat it with kindness, compassion, tenderness. Continue to send the breath to that right rib cage and send the eyes to look over to your right. Take your time to get there. It's a big transition for the body, for the eyes to cross the midline like that. So even though it seems like such a small thing, again, it touches into a very deep system. So honor that and partner with it the way that it needs to be partnered with in this moment. Allow the eyes to come back to center. Turn your head back to face front and bring your body back to the middle. And this time, again, we're going to recalibrate in the center. Where do your hands want to be this time? There's going to be a place with one or both hands that just feels really comforting. Find that place. Or maybe you don't want any hands at all. That's okay too. The key is that you listen to what you're sensing and then you respond according to your needs rather than doing something that you think should be done. Eyes can always be open or closed. Just take a moment to ground back down into the earth. Remember what it's like to come back home to this place of comfort and connection, and allow the hands to fall away.